Hello, welcome back. This is now issue 37 of Build the Classic Routemaster. Okay, so I hope you can hear me okay. I've actually got my printer on the go, printing parts for a project that me and Penny are going to be doing shortly. Yeah, that is going, but hopefully it shouldn't be causing too much of a distraction. So in this issue we're going to be working more on the driver's cab. I believe we're going to be fitting a switch underneath. Now it's a little bit annoying because I think, if I remember rightly, once we've installed a switch, later on down the line it wants us to remove the switch again and to put some protective tape underneath. Now I haven't got that issue, otherwise I would have opened that now and got that piece out and fitted that at the same time to save screwing it up and unscrewing it, but I haven't got that issue, so I'm just going to have to go buy the magazine and just do it step by step as we're told to do it. So I thought that might save a bit of time, but in order to get this video out in time for you to, today, I can't do that. So without further ado, we'll go down, we'll open all the parts, we'll check them off, and then we'll get building. Okay, so here we go. This is, as I say, issue 37. I am just trying to find now, I know I've put it, my knife to cut this open. It was over by my 3D printer. I've had a few issues with the printer, but it's all good now. So we'll open this up. Lots of small little parts in this issue. There's a spring and all sorts, so be really careful when you open in this week. Okay, so I'll open these up. Grab my screw pot. And we'll see what we've got. So again, really small pieces in this this week's magazine. For those that haven't done this already, so please be really careful when you're undoing the bag. Okay, and let's go through what we've got here. So the first thing we've got is 37A, which is the brake pedal. Okay, and that looks like that. 37B is the brake pedal hinge, which is this part here. C is this spring, which is the return spring for the brake pedal. So what will happen is this will obviously go on the brake pedal. When you push the pedal down, it will activate the switch, but obviously we need a way of the brake pedal coming back up. So with this spring is obviously the return spring to bring the pedal back up. 37E is the accelerator pedal, and I don't think this is going to do anything. This is just for detail purposes in the cab. We've got 37F, which is this part here, which is the back panel. It says it's not used in this issue, and we'll be using this in issue 38, so we need to keep that somewhere safe, so I'm going to put that straight in my screw pot there. 37G is this part here. You should be able to hear me a little bit better now, which is the switch mount, and that's that small piece of plastic there. And then we've also got some AM screws. There's 3 of those in there. FP, which we've got 2 of those, which is correct. We'll only be needing 1 of those. We've got DP screws, again we've got 2, so we're only going to need to use 1 of those. And we've got some RM screws, and there's 3 of those. So I'm happy that everything is here. And sorry, one thing I missed out is obviously the brake switch cable itself. So here we've got a length of cable that is labelled E. And then if I carefully undo this, on the other ends we've got a switch. And obviously the switch will activate, although I think mine is rather bent out of shape. I don't think it should be looking like that, but we'll soon find out. No, it shouldn't. So that has actually been bent out of shape, but I've just repaired that now, so it should be straight like that. Okay, so step 1, we're going to need FP screw, so I'm just going to grab that out now so it's ready to go when we need it. We're going to put 1 away. Okay, so I'm going to take the driver's cab, which I'm just going to grab from over there. And I'll try and bring you in a bit so you can see what we're doing. Okay, and we're going to need the brake switch cable, obviously, which is this part here, and the switch mount, which is this part here. And then we're going to fit this together. So let me just take a little look. Okay, so you want to have it this way up, so that you've got the locating pin at the top and then this circular bit furthest away from you. That's the best thing I can sort of describe that. So you want it facing this way. Okay, and then the locating peg, there's a locating peg just at the bottom of this switch piece here, is going to go in the bottom hole on the side there, and that's going to fit together like that. And then once we've done that, we're going to secure that with an FP screw from the switch side. I'll try and get you a bit more light, and you might be able to see. Small parts to work with, but it's going to sort of line up like that. So the screw's going to go in the top hole. Okay, so I'm going to grab my screwdriver. Hopefully I've got the right bit on the end ready to go. That'll be a bonus. Yeah. Okay, so with that I'm just going to put the screw through the switch. Line that up, just double check that that locating pin is seated in the bottom there, which it is because it's nice and flush, and then just tighten that up. Okay, and I am happy that that is secured, so then you should have something that looks like that. Okay, next we want to turn this the cab assembly over, and we're going to be working in this area here. So the locating pin on the mount is going to go in this bottom hole here, and then we're going to be screwing it in place with the top hole just there. So we're going to turn that round, and then that's going to fit in like so and rest over those two pieces there. Now, again, we're going to be securing that down. We're going to have to take this apart later on, because I think we need to be adding something underneath there. I think it's because this is made of metal, and I think it's may cause problems with it shorting out. Okay, so with that in place, we're going to use an AM screw, which I'm going to grab out now, and we're going to fit that into place. As I say, this will have to be removed at a later stage. So I'm just going to hold that into place, and then with an AM screw, we're just going to put that through. Okay. And I'm happy with that. That is into place. And you see the switch is resting over that raised part there. Okay, what we need to do is carefully bend the switch cables so that the wire goes through these two holes here. Okay, the next step we're going to do is we need to get an RM screw ready. So I'll just grab one of those out. And we've got 3 of those, so we'll be using another one of those shortly, I expect. Okay, so we need to take the brake pedal hinge and identify the fixing point on the underside of the cab floor. Okay, so the fixing point is this square piece here, or rectangular piece here with the 2 holes in. And you've obviously got a locating pin. I say obviously, it's not obvious at all. But no, there is a locating pin on the bottom of that. Okay, and I've just dropped that on my lap. So the locating pin is actually going to go on the right hand side nearest the gearbox for the steering. So the locating pin is going to go in that hole there. Quite a tight fit, but that's just going to sit on there like so. And then with an RM screw, we're going to secure that home. Okay, like so. Okay. So the next step we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing the actual brake pedal itself. So take the brake pedal, check the orientation. So obviously we want the brake pedal the right way, which is fairly obvious. So you want it to look like that, and then we're going to put the brake pedal into this slit just here. So we're just, this is orientation, we're going to pop that down into through the hole carefully. Give it a little bit of a jiggle. Okay, and that's just going to sit through and then protrude underneath. Like so, and then that's going to sit in between the fixing point that we've just screwed on. Okay, and with that, we're then going to put an RM screw. So I'll get another one out. Quite fiddly work. We're going to put an RM screw through that mount we just fitted, through the brake pedal, and then on the other side. Okay, so now I have just remembered, on Penny's build we did, it might be easier to remove this screw holding the switch into place, just for the moment, just until we've got this in, because then it gives us more room to get the screw through that hole. Okay, I'll just adjust the focus. Sorry, my autofocus is terrible, so I have to do it manually. Okay, so then we're just going to put the RM screw through. Okay, I'm going to loosen that a tiny bit because the pedal needs to be free moving. Okay, so with that in, I'm then going to reattach the switch back underneath. Okay, at the moment I'm not too happy with the movement on that. I mean, the only thing I could do is drop a tiny spot of oil on there, maybe just to help that up a bit, but we'll wait till we've got the spring on, and then we'll make any adjustments we might need to make after that, because the spring might be stronger than I'm thinking. Okay, yeah, so using an AM screw, we are now going to affix the spring, and the spring is going to go into this hole just here, but also it's going to be attached through. There's a very small hole on the brake pedal, and it's going to be really hard to see it, but you just see it just where my finger is. There's a tiny little hole, so we need to thread this spring through there. So I think I'm gonna try and do that first. And I'm going to get my tweezers out for this. This is, oh, very fiddly. Wow, really fiddly. It doesn't quite want to fit through. Okay, so let me try and approach this from a different angle. I'll try and get it in from the top, but definitely needs steady hand and patience. Okay, I'm back. So what I had to actually do in the end was remove this screw, which is fixing this pedal in. Then I could get more access, pull the pedal through, and it was a really tight fit. But as you can see, I have got the spring on there now. If the light was a bit better. So all I need to do now is using an AM screw, secure that spring down to the fixing hole. And I need a larger screw head. Okay. Right, so I think I've got a connection when I push the pedal. But there's only one way to check that. So what I'm going to do is grab my multimeter and then we'll check the operation of that switch to see if we need to make any adjustments. So on my multimeter, or if you've got a multimeter, you need to look for this symbol here. Sorry about the focus. It looks like a sound wave sort of thing, and what we do is if we put it on that, or it'd be ohms, when you make a connection the meter will make a noise. Hopefully you can hear that, but also you can see that the numbers jump up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and use some masking tape to put this switch on the table. So it doesn't go anywhere. Then we can connect the 2 points and then push the switch. Okay, so that's good. See, when I push the pedal on here, see the meter beeps. I can hear it beeping, and then the numbers change. So I'm happy that that is okay. And obviously, the more you use it, I mean, it depends how much you play with it in the cab. It'll loosen up probably over time. I mean, it feels looser already. And I'm getting a constant read when I push that in. So I am really happy that that is all good. Now we're going to have to probably check that again, because as I say, in a few issues time we'll be removing the switch again to put something underneath. But for now I'm happy that that is all good. Okay. Okay, with that done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the accelerator pedal, and that's going to go inside next to, just in this hole here where the brake pedal is. And as you can see, there's a keyway in there, which is obviously going to, well, it's going to match up with the key on here, so that will only fit one way, and this may be quite fiddly as well. So that's going to sort of fit in there like so, and then from the other side we're going to fix that in with a DP screw. So I'm just going to grab one out. Oh, I've dropped it. Okay, so what we need to do is sort of 3-4 hands is line that up and then secure that from underneath, and obviously it'll be the hole next to the brake pedal there. Okay, that's gone in rather nicely. I'm happy with that. Don't over tighten that screw obviously because we're going into plastic, and you don't want to crack it or thread it or anything. So that's just gone in enough to stop. So there's the screw there I've just fitted, and that is nice solid fit next to the brake pedal. Okay, and that is that issue. This is issue 37 complete, and that's what we've got so far. So what I'm going to do is, obviously we're going to be running these wires possibly in the next issue. So for this moment I am just going to put a little bit of masking tape over those cables to keep them together, and then that can sit ready for the next issue. Okay, so that was issue 37. I am not going to lie, that was really tricky. That spring is an absolute nightmare, absolute nightmare. So as I say, you might want to put that on before you actually attach the brake pedal to the actual the hinge. That's what I had to do. I had to undo that again, and then you get a bit more clearance, and then you've got a little bit more room to work with. But be really careful with that spring, because a few times it pinged off, and luckily it didn't go far. It just landed on my desk, and I've got sharp eyes so I could see where it went. But yeah, I can imagine if you're a bit heavy-handed with that and some tweezers, that's just going to go ping, and it's going to end up somewhere in the room. So yeah, yeah, really good. Glad it's done. Obviously, as I've said 3 times already, we're going to have to take the switch off again later on, because they've added like some electrical tape or something underneath. Now I would have probably put some of my own on, to be honest, but I've actually run out of electrical tape and I need to order some. So yeah, we'll have to just wait for that issue to come through, and we'll get provided with a little bit of tape just to put that under there. And I think it's just to stop it shorting out. I mean, it's a painted surface, so paint isn't you know, conductive, but maybe after a bit of use, maybe it'll start scratching the paint, and then when it goes down to the metal, then it could cause problems. So that's probably the reason they're doing it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. But until next week, take care.